Hi, everyone, and welcome to this series about the electrical wiring in our houses. So, today I'd like to talk about something that we use all the time, which are the receptacles that we have we have them in our houses, in the rooms, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and so on and so forth. So basically, I will talk about three different types of receptacles and what are the differences between each type, so that we are familiar with their usages, their limitations, their voltages, their current rating, and so on. So before that, let's go back to this diagram that we mentioned in the previous video. So here, this is the output of the transformer. Here is the transformer output, and this is where we have the wire coming to our houses. And we said that we have two voltages comes to our houses. We have the 120 volt and the 240 volt. And these wires will connect to the panel. So we have here live line, another live line, and in between here we have the neutral that is connected to the ground. So we have basically here two live lines and the neutral. So whenever we connect the receptacle between a live line and a neutral, we are getting 120 volt like this one. Whenever we connect the receptacle between two live lines, then we get the 240. So this is how we can get the 240 in our houses. Also, we can get the 120. So now let's talk about each type of those receptacles. This is the most common one, and you see them in all the rooms, in your living area, in your bedrooms, and in the whole house. So we call this is a 15 amp. So it can handle up to 15 amp as a load, 120 volt. And as you can see, we have one, two, three inputs that we can enter our plug into them. So this is where we have the, let's say, they call the high voltage. This is what we call the neutral, and this is what we call the ground. Okay, so as I said, this is the standard one that's available in all our rooms. Then we have this. This is 50 amps. It's a huge current, 250 volt, and this is used for a special types of appliances like a dryer, stove, oven. So you will not see those outlets or receptacles all over the place. You will find them in a specific location in your house where you are supposed to install the oven or the dryer. And for example, if you want to move the oven from one location to another location in your house, then you have to move this receptacle from that location to another location. So we don't have too many of those, just few in our house to accommodate those huge loads or appliances. Finally, we have what we call the GFCI. What does GFCI stand for? G means ground, F stand for fault, C for circuit, I interrupter. Okay, so those receptacles, as you can see them here, uh, they have these special buttons. Okay, they look like the 120, and actually they work at 120 volt, 15 amp. So from the voltage and the current, they are similar to the regular ones. However, you see these two buttons. Where we see those receptacles, we see them in any place in our house that it could be in touch with water, like in the kitchen, in the bathroom, and sometimes outside our houses where there could be some rain. Okay, what is special about those receptacles and why they are called GFCI or ground fault circuit interrupter? We said that in the regular uh, outlets or receptacles, that whenever there is an overload, meaning you are putting more than the 15 amp on them, or you are putting more load on the circuit breaker in the electrical panel will trip. Okay, and it will take some time before it trips. It doesn't trip immediately. It will take few seconds to trip. However, if you have a ground fault, like a water comes in touch and the current starts to have a different path other than the regular path during in the wires, then immediately this interrupter will interrupt the circuit. So it acts as very fast, not for an overload, but if there is a ground fault, basically coming from the water that is coming in touch with the electrical outlet, then it will divert the current or part of the current, and which is could be very dangerous. So this is why we use those receptacles at the kitchen and at the bathroom. So these are the three different types of receptacles. Again, please join me to my home. We will go show you all these receptacles, actually how they look like in the wall, and I will connect the voltmeter to them and measure the voltage in each receptacle.
This is the standard electrical receptacles that is available in the house, and you can find them in the bedroom, in the living room, and in many other places in the house. Now I connected the voltmeter here to check what is the voltage. So this is the voltage, so it is 120 volt. This is the special receptacle that is used for big appliances. So this one is for the dryer, and when you check the voltage here, it is 240 volt. And as I mentioned here, you don't see these type of receptacles available in the house. They are only close to certain places like the oven and the dryer. This is the GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupter. It is again, it's like a regular receptacle, and the voltage, as you can see here, it is 120 volt. Now, if I push this button, see what will happen to the voltage? It becomes zero. Now, if I reset it back using the upper button here, and look here, now it's going back to the 120 volt. So this receptacle is, as we mentioned, it acts if there is any ground fault to disconnect the power from that specific receptacle.